I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Hello everybody and welcome into the Manny Rays NOMA Truck Series live from Michigan International Speedway. It's the Blue Ridge Auto Group 250 and thank you all so much for tuning in. You are watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Qualifying just getting wrapped up. Drivers getting down trackside, getting in their trucks and getting ready to get rolling for 250 miles around one of the fastest tracks that we're going to head to this season. So with that knowledge, let's get right down trackside and get started tonight with your starting grid. Taking the pole, it's going to be Kenneth Redinger, already with multiple wins on the season, looking to see if he can add another here tonight. Matthew Fritz will roll off second in the 29 truck. Wesley Phillips back in third with Justin Bentley in fourth. Wiley Cantrell will start fifth with Mark Beverly to his outside in sixth. Ronnie Morrison back in seventh. Keith Prince in eighth. Bill Hales ninth, and Jeremy Beal rounding out your top 10. Moving on back to row number 6, it's Jay Stinson alongside the 88 of Clay Cantrell. Richard Hurst will start 13th, the Monday night broadcaster. Justin Parham to his outside in 14th. Aiden Lunn rolls off in 15th with David Traylor in 16th. Michael Lawrence back in 17th with Chase Greer in 18th. Zach Stevens in 19th, and Joey Hickox rounding out your top 20. Tyler Clemis in 21st. Derek Catt in the 13 truck in 22nd. Kevin Winker, last week's winner, looking to see if he can make it back-to-back wins with one here tonight at Michigan. He will roll off 23rd, has some work to do. Clinton Woodby to his outside in 24th. Haas Beverly 25th, Nick Wood in 26th. Riley Gomes 27th with Sam Boutwell in 28th. Ryan Newman starts 29th, and it's Randy Bonomi rounding out the field tonight. He will roll off in 30th. The Blue Ridge 250 tonight, of course, in the NOMA Truck Series, as always, the distance going to be 95 laps. We will have a stage break, stage 1 at the end of lap 20, stage 2 at the end of lap 60. There is 6 sets of tires. Everybody has 75% fuel, fixed setups, and then, of course, one fast repair if you need it. Weather outside, beautiful day here at Michigan, 72 degrees, 10% humidity, clear skies, and winds at 2 miles an hour. Michigan International Speedway, a D-shaped 2-mile oval on the dot, 117 degrees, going to be the starting track temp tonight. High banks, not quite as high as what we would see at Daytona or Talladega, but the point is you're going to see a lot of high-speed racing here tonight, a lot of drafting, maybe a little bit of pushing, and certainly a lot of 3-4 wide racing, especially on these restarts. Similar track to what we saw at Auto Club. Only difference here, track a little bit smoother, going to be a little bit racier, a little bit faster, and it's certainly going to provide just as good a racing. Well, again, saw Kevin Winker get the win last week. Last season we were here. I know it's been a while, but I believe it was Matthew Dyer. Actually, I'm not sure on that. And I know Dyer's not here this season. The point is, some of the dominant guys that we had on the 2-mile ovals last season are back, and we've got some young guns trying to make a statement here tonight as well. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Michigan. Good restart. Going to stay 2x2 further back, but up front, the inside really off and rolling is Kenneth Redinger, quickly trying to scoot away here with a little bit of a push from Wesley Phillips. And further back than them, still 2-3 wide now as Aiden Lund's going to jump to the middle in the 32 truck. Everybody fanning out, including the 88 of Clay Cantrell. Looks like maybe he's actually thinking about trying to duck out and go to the back here. He knows it's early on, and he sees that already these guys dicing up as much as they are. Keith Prince, big moment there on cold tires as he had to correct the truck at the back end, started to slip out. Man, it was something that I was going to bring up later, but certainly already seeing issues with it is those cold tires on the first lap, man, they are really, really tricky to work with. And man, oh man, that was a close call. 3 wide down the front stretch, almost 4 wide. You see Kevin Winker, the bright blue, yellow, and black 42 truck, trying to carve his way through the field early on the inside here of Joey Hickox. And Joey's going to have to slide up in line, I believe, just behind. Well, I couldn't tell exactly who that was. I think that was the 02 of Nick Wood. And right now, looks like Winker's going to get the advantage. Was drafting with Woodby. Now he'll jump up to the outside line. Meanwhile, up front, the battle for the lead is on, and it is fierce. 3 wide out of turn number 4. Redinger fell a couple of spots right off the start. And since then, it is now Ronnie Morrison who's taken the lead. Jeremy Beal, maybe with trouble further back as well. Oh, caution is out. And so Jeremy Beal looks to be okay. Sam Boutwell, now the truck was shown with trouble as he has immediately taken his number 47 truck to the pits. Oh my goodness. He has destroyed whatever he hit. He must have broke it down. That is huge damage on the front of Sam Boutwell. And again, he towed immediately, so you see the suspension is destroyed as well. Looks like this will be that first fast pair of the night gone. The problem is he's going to have to pay the tow bill. So he'll be sitting in the pits here for a good moment or two as he gets the damages repaired. And here we go. Going to back this up just a little bit now. And watch here. This is coming into turn number 3. And the chaos is going to happen in 3 and 4. Oh, it starts in front. That's what it is. Aiden Lunn, and I believe that's Clay Cantrell are actually the first two to get involved right here. So we're going to zoom in on the 32 machine here of Aiden Lunn. You see he's racing side by side here with Clay Cantrell. Clay now rolling right around, straddling that second seam. But then Aiden Lunn here, looks like the 32 starts to slide up. Well, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle. We're going to go to the chopper view, but I think it's the 32 sliding up. Yeah. Watch Cantrell wrapping the seam. Now he gets the right sides below. Well, honestly, a little bit of both there. I mean, at the end of the day, I know that the 32 drifts up a little bit, but he kind of has to. And, I know Clay is probably trying to get a side draft, but this early on, there's got to be a little give and take. And I think you almost got to be expecting the 32 to slide up a little bit there. Point is, once contact is made, nothing either of them can do. That sends Aiden Lunn hard into the outside wall. Nothing to do is now Clay Cantrell starts rolling back down the racetrack, and I think that's where we're going to see our other victim get involved in this one. As, yeah, there you see Sam Boutwell piles in, and that's not where this thing's going to start stop for the 47. Is huge hit off the inside wall as well. Rolls back up and then comes to a halt just past the pit entrance. Of course, pay that tow bill with all that damage. Just no way he's going to be able to get that repaired without going in, of course, using that fast repair. So, again, to me, this is just tight racing. I really don't see anything that anybody's doing necessarily wrong. Again, Aiden Lunn, maybe trying to roll the throttle just to see if he can get clear the 88 of Clay Cantrell at the same time. Fighting for that track position on an early restart, trying to keep it down on the door. And unfortunately, one drifts up as one's starting to slowly come down. And we'll listen here to an onboard view with Aiden Lunn. Listen to the throttle here. Yeah, definitely was trying to stay in the throttle there. Aiden Lunn, once he got back in it, trying to get that move clear. Now, for what it's worth, Aiden Lunn, you saw him wrapping the yellow on entry to the corner. That's kind of no man's land unless you're, of course, trying to complete a slide job, which may have been what he was doing. But my point in saying that is usually it doesn't work out too well in these trucks when you try to wrap that yellow line. The tires certainly don't appreciate it, and just in general, it almost feels like you hit just a slight bit less banking when you get down below that first seam. So definitely interesting to see the 32 try that line, but didn't work out. He'll take notes, learn from it, and that is not only going to collect Sam Boutwell's fast repair, but as we did see the damage there on a few replays that we've already taken, also looks like it's going to, of course, take that one and only fast repair for Aiden Lunn as well. Here's the view from the pit lane cam. Now, as you're going to see Sam Boutwell after he bounces off the inside wall, drift back into frame. And there's the 47 with that heavy contact, and really, he just had nowhere to go. I want to give you one more angle of this for Sam Boutwell and see exactly how he got involved in this. Watch this. As he starts wrecking in front, the 88's trying to save it, which he does, but unfortunately, that save puts him right in harm's way as Boutwell trying to shoot the gap, and by the time he got there, gap was certainly no longer there, and this is the big one right here. Watch this. Boom, hard into the inside wall. And then you see the hood going off, giving everybody a good view of what the engines look like under these trucks, but at the end of the day, brings out our first caution of the night. Back up front now, 6 laps complete. Ronnie Morrison is being scored as your leader. Matthew Fritz in second with Justin Parham in third. Justin Bentley fourth. Kenneth Redinger rounding out your top 5. Wesley Phillips in sixth. Mark Beverly in seventh with Keith Prince in eighth. Wiley Cantrell in ninth. And David Traylor rounding out your top 10. And so Kenneth Redinger, I gotta believe, was maybe thinking about trying to save a little bit there on that run, maybe save a little tire. Problem was, he probably didn't have that caution in his book, so now he's got a little work to do here, starting behind one of his Grandstand Racing teammates. Just had their other teammate, of course, get involved in that last wreck with Sam Boutwell. So while they're up front running good early, I think this is a big chance for Matthew Fritz, who had a great qualifying effort, to maybe take advantage. Good-looking paint scheme on that 29 truck here tonight. The Manny Rays Mafia always supporting the partner sponsorship for the NOMA Truck Series in Manny Rays. And of course tonight, the sponsor of the race, Blue Ridge Auto Group. 2 great sponsors on board. A great race that we've had so far. Get ready for round 2 of it. Green flag back in the air. 7 laps complete at Michigan. Great restart by Ronnie Morrison. Almost maybe too good of a restart here. The back of the field here, or excuse me, the second group, if you will, that's formed up right now, just right off the start, is going to be a big momentum swing on the back straightaway right here as they pull a huge draft. Parham trying to defend up top. Matthew Fritz looks a lane higher, not going to get it. Parham now tries to work all the way to the wall. It looks like he is going to be able to stall out the momentum for the 29. Still no run as they were 3 wide, back to 2 wide now into turn number 3. Justin Bentley in the 16 in the middle as it's the 24 of Kenneth Redinger looking to the bottom. Ooh, the 69. Ronnie Morrison, he's going to pits here. Oh no, I have a great idea of what this might be, and I heard it over comms on the restart. Was waiting to see if it was going to be confirmed. That is going to be a jumped restart violation for Ronnie Morrison. You got to go on green, and unfortunately he went a little bit early at this point. Watch here as they work into the Geico restart zone. Yeah, that's definitely probably a little early. Green flag may not have been out yet. And as a result of that, 69 does have to take a drive-through penalty here. This is going to cost him all his track position. The big goal now is just going to be damage control. Try to stay on the lead lap here for these next 12 laps as the leaders cross the stripe this time. Get that caution break and get yourself right back up with the rest of the field. Get at it again. He's got a fast truck, so still certainly a lot of potential tonight, but an early setback for Ronnie Morrison. Now Justin Bentley, Justin Parham, the two Justins go door to door down the front straightaway. And outside, usually able to carry a little bit better momentum, but Michigan a little bit interesting. Of course, you got that curved front straightaway, and it's pretty wide, so you can go all the way down and below the apron if you're trying to cut the track as short as possible. But if you run the top through 3 and 4, chances are you're going to be running right next to the wall. If you get a push, you can certainly carry enough momentum to get clear of another truck. Now, Justin Parham's going to have to surrender that spot to Bentley as he gets clear before the entry of turn number 3. And there you see him running the top, gets a big pull. Wesley Phillips going to try to jump down. Parham tries to Bentley tries to give a draft to Parham to stall that 46, but it's not enough. And now Wesley Phillips looking at 2 for 1 here in one straightaway as he'll jump to the inside of Justin Bentley down into turn number 1. And all this side-by-side action has allowed your top 5 to all stay within a second of the leader. In fact, with guys within a second of the leader goes all the way back to 6th, where you see Mark Beverly kind of in a transition phase between that second group and the first group, the one he is trying to catch. And, you know, I've had the opportunity, if you will, to drive Michigan before in a league race, and it really is one of the coolest tracks because you get the best of both worlds. Early on in these restarts, and of course for probably about 10 to 15 laps, maybe even up to 20 laps after, you get a ton of aggressive racing, almost like pack racing, where you don't have to be quite as good as the guy in front of you down in the corners. You just got to keep the truck clean, maybe save a little tire. And that draft, the great equalizer, of course, down the straightaways. And then as the run goes on, you get into the middle and latter portions of the run. All of a sudden, that tire wear starts to become a factor. The trucks start to slip and slide around, if you will, through the corner. And all of a sudden, it becomes a battle of who saved the most tire, but caution is back out. And so it's not going to be a battle anymore of anything. As we got one truck around here in the grass. That's Haas Beverly in the 22. It is the new paint scheme here tonight, and not the way he wanted to show it off early here. So he'll get back rolling. That is one of the Asphalt Outlaw Racing teammates, and you see that he's supporting them with that new paint scheme here tonight as well. But hearing over the radio that there may have been some netcode involved. I think the other truck is going to be either Michael Lawrence. I think it is going to be Michael Lawrence here. You see the 12 on the inside here as they get down the back straightaway. And first view will be from the chopper cam. And I think this is going to set up as he gets a great run off of 2. That's exactly what it is. Talked about momentum. He's rolling the top, and that's exactly what he gets a ton of right here. A lot of momentum. The 22 goes to slide up, and the 12 looks like he's going to jump down to the inside. And then starts to come back up here. Haas Beverly slowly working down, gets just below the seam. And at that point, the 12, I think, he sees this gap closing up on the 31. Is he maybe going to try to tuck in line? No, the gap no longer there. And, just looks like Michael Lawrence just starts coming up right there and honestly gets into the left rear of Haas Beverly. Not much more to it. Don't think there was any ill intent right there, at least not from what we've heard over radio chatter. I think that was just maybe a little bit of a misjudgment, either going for a side draft or potentially trying to, like I said, slot back in line, although I don't think the gap was really there anymore. And instead, that drift up just barely clips the left rear of Haas Beverly. It doesn't take much. Sends the 22 around. He goes for a pretty big slide here, but I don't think he hits anything. In fact, no, he doesn't. So it does draw the caution. It's still good news here that the 22 really doesn't get any damage from it. I don't believe that the 12 of Michael Lawrence did either. So both trucks will be able to continue on, and at the end of the day, it's just going to be a lost track position for Haas Beverly due to the incident, and potentially an EOL as well for Michael Lawrence. Gotta think Haas probably not going to be too happy with that one. You can't blame them. Seemed like they were just kind of riding around, biding their time, and then all of a sudden, next thing he knows, he's turned around, heading the wrong direction. And Jay Stinson lucky to not get collected with this one here, as he's just going to sneak by the outside. So once the 22 spun, you saw the flaps go up just briefly. Watch this one more time here from the cockpit view as he goes for a spin. Actually, flaps did not go up. But nonetheless, great save by Haas Beverly to keep the truck in one piece. And he was able to quickly get back rolling, so doesn't have to worry about losing a lap either. And as we do go back live up front, Wesley Phillips now being scored as your leader. Justin Bentley in second. Matthew Fritz rounding out the podium. Kenneth Redinger back in fourth. Justin Parham rounding out your top five. Hope everybody in the chat's having a good night. NOMA TV, good to see you in here. Sean Arita says, go Winker. Karen Williams, good to see you in here. Says, where are they racing? They are at Michigan International Speedway. A 2-mile D-shaped oval, high banking in the corners. And just about, I mean, with these trucks, you're basically wide open on the first, probably I would say first couple laps, depending on if you're saving tire or not, depending on where you're running in terms of track position. But these guys are hitting well in excess of 190 miles an hour with the draft, maybe almost 200 miles here tonight. That is the beauty of Michigan International Speedway. Well, I believe they got the one-to-go signal right here. Yeah, you see the lights on the pace car off, so they indeed did. That means they'll get lined up and get ready to go back to green flag racing right here. And so Justin Bentley on the inside, Wesley Phillips on the outside could certainly size us up for a potentially interesting restart. Keith Prince in that 03 truck, he is back fourth on the inside. But when they do take the green here, it's only going to be 6 laps to go in stage number 1. And so if we get another caution here in just a couple laps, that could end the stage. So I think this is going to be a pretty aggressive brawl for track position right here. We'll see who's able to get it. Wesley Phillips, Justin Bentley, 2 drivers that are still looking for their first win on the season. Could be a great start with a potential stage win. But, you know, Kenneth Redinger, your pole sitter, how much short run speed he had based off what he did, of course, run in that qualifying effort. Matthew Fritz with similar speed as well. So we'll see how these guys duke it out here. These 6 laps. And who's able to gain positions versus who loses positions. And how can you set yourself up for track position for stage number 2. All right, rolling back up to the Geico restart zone. Everybody got to make sure they stay pace speed. They do. Green flag in the air. No jump restarts this time. Looks like the 46 of Wesley Phillips off to the races. Gets through the gears a little bit smoother. Try to get clear of Bentley, but now Justin with a little bit of a side draft. He's going to fight back down into turn number 1. And got to get clear before the exit of the corner. Otherwise, he is going to lose a whole bunch of momentum. Looking to slide up in front of the 46. He does so. Wesley Phillips, though, is going to give him a shove as caution is back out. More trouble at the rear of the field. Looks like this time it's the 3 of Joey Hickox. And this will not wrap up the stage. These guys should be able to get it back going green as it was on the first lap. But now all of a sudden it goes from what's going to be about a 6-lap shootout to probably about a 2 or 3-lap shootout. As looking to see if we can get a little bit better of a damage assessment here for the 3 truck. And you see the right rear bumper is crumpled a little bit, and then the right side appears to be pretty clean. I did see a piece of debris sliding across the racetrack after the caution came out. Not sure if that was from Joey or somebody else. Well, I can tell you that's going to be from somebody else. Look at this hit here from the 15. Actually, that might have been, that was Tyler Clemis. I believe this is one of the new drivers making their first start here tonight. He was rolling the outside, and here we go. As, Ronnie Morrison tries to split. The 13 was slow. Derek Catt, got to think he had some sort of an issue here. Or maybe just doesn't get through the corner quite as smooth. Again, cold tires, everybody trying to get up to speed. And, yeah, the 13 just doesn't really look like he does much. The 69 and the 3 truck, Joey Hickox, Ronnie Morrison, they just have a massive run in the middle of the corner. Ronnie Morrison feels like it's too big of a run to check up, so he's going to try to split. And as he does so, gets into the middle, and now he's drifting up. Joey Hickox outside already as they get 4 wide, and just no more room. So Ronnie Morrison gets up into the 3, and then that sends him up into the outside wall. And he almost wedges the 15 of Tyler Clements there as well. Nothing he could do. And man, oh man, definitely a big wreck to get things started. Watch this from a little bit of a different angle. I mean, this was an absolutely brutal hit for the 15 of Tyler Clements, who was really an innocent victim here. Right on the outside, and there's the contact, nothing he can do. All 4 tires off the ground, almost jumps over the safer barrier into the catch fence. As Joey Hickox takes a pretty decent shot on the outside wall, but not nearly as big of a hit as Ronnie Morrison and Tyler Clements. So those 2 trucks going to have to probably take a faster pair already. Give you another look at that one. There's the hit. And yeah, Joey looks like Tank Slapper gets the rear end of the wall first before the front end swings around and does the same. And here's a cockpit view for Ronnie Morrison. And decisions happen so quick here in Michigan. I want to show you kind of what led to him having to make the split-second decision. They get into turn 1. 13 goes to the middle here. Morrison, yeah, it just looks like he's got a bunch more speed in. Not sure if he didn't realize that Joey was going to be alongside him there and that it was going to put him 4 wide, but once there was contact, there was really just no going back, and Clements is destroyed. So yeah, that'll certainly be a fast pair for both of those trucks gone. And you got to always go back. It seems like there's always a chain of events that leads up to something like this in the case of Ronnie Morrison. You know, he was in great position just about a couple restarts ago, and unfortunately got a penalty for a jump to restart, had to do a drive-through, lost all that track position, went to the back, and part of what led to him having to make that little bit of a desperate move right there, kind of started to lead to the caution. But again, didn't look like the move was necessarily bad, just couldn't quite keep the truck down, and as a result, brought out a caution. Looks like 69 is going to, I'm assuming, get blamed for that one, though, from what we've heard over radio chatter. 13 with a bit of a checkup. So 18 laps complete. Going to go green right here. It'll be 19 laps complete. And so that will indeed put us with a 2-lap shootout here to end stage number 1. Nancy Hickox, good to see you in the chat, along with tower operator. Nancy says, let's go Venom Racing. Hey, Austin sounded good tonight. Certainly appreciate it, Nancy. Glad to see you out here. And so 2x2 will be the formation that they line up in here as they get ready again for the green flag 2-lap shootout. If these guys get a caution on either one of these 2 laps, that will officially end the stage. And I believe your leader, or the winner of the stage rather, will be declared as whoever is the leader at the time of caution. So Justin Bentley will line up on the inside, Wesley Phillips on the outside, Kenneth Redinger, Matthew Fritz, row number 2, and Justin Parham and Mark Beverly in row number 3. Kevin Winker has been tearing his way through the field. Remember where he started? We said he had some work to do. Well, he's already up 16 positions from where he started this race at, so he's certainly been putting in a pretty good amount of work so far. But again, still going to have a couple more positions that he's going to have to make up here before we get to the stage break in order to set himself up for the potential to get all the way to the front by the end of stage number 2. We do have a driver camp tonight with Mark Beverly as he gets set and ready to go back to green flag racing. 97 potentially with a chance here. As you see, he will start 3rd on the outside row. Here we go. 2-lap shootout in stage number 1. Green flag back in the air at Michigan. Great start for the 16. Looked like he went at the right time. Just got a much better jump than everybody else. And that'll fan him out now as Kenneth Redinger on the bottom. Matthew Fritz up top with Wesley Phillips. 29 looking to split 3 wide. Now he'll go back down to 2 wide. And he's got to get clear of the 46. Not going to do it. Mark Beverly gets the truck to rotate well on exit. Trying to split 3 wide here. Not sure if he's got enough momentum. He does not. He'll tuck back down in line. Matthew Fritz with a big push to the back of the 24 of Kenneth Redinger. As Redinger dives it off into turn number 3, he's going to try to draw side by side here down the front with Justin Bentley. Bentley holding strong as well. Here we go. White flag in stage number 1. 2 miles left to decide who's going to get it. Bentley trying to block. Right now he's going to hold the bottom, looking for a defensive line. Redinger up top, 24. Watch for him to look high to see if he can get some momentum down the back straightaway. And it looks like he's trying to give the top up. The 16, though, not going to let him have it. Kenneth Redinger is now to 44, goes around out back. Believe that was Jeremy Beal. Potentially with huge hit here on the inside wall. Didn't save it. We'll go back to that in just a moment. Final time at a turn number 3. Justin Bentley looking for a slide job. Redinger looking for a crossover. Now the 16 gets loose. That'll let the 24 draw even 3 wide. Here goes Wesley Phillips to the inside. He's going to beat them both to the line. Drag race. It does go to Wesley Phillips. Oh my goodness, what a finish for stage number 1. Well, that one almost fell right in the lap there. Wesley Phillips setting the podium spot there as they went into turn 3 and 4 and came out a winner as they crossed the stripes. So again, he will be your official stage 1 winner. Redinger brings home second. Fritz holds on to a podium as the biggest loser in that one was Justin Bentley, who fell out of the podium after getting loose on the exit of turn 4. And sometimes it's maybe a little bit easier as a driver to try to focus just a little bit more ahead. And I think in this case, Bentley was doing a lot of mirror drive and trying to make sure he held off the charge from Redinger. And partially as a result here, he's just going to start getting out of shape. And from there, it just kind of starts to snowball. Watch this from the chopper view. 16, he's put a lot of wheel into it here. He knows that the 24 has got to run on the inside. And these trucks, they like to slide up. And I'll tell you what, it certainly probably didn't help him that Redinger was dumping a ton of air on the rear of that truck. But once he slips up, and you see the 46 able to go by, as was the 24. But Wesley Phillips was able to carry a little bit more momentum. It helped that he had a little bit of an aero push from Matthew Fritz as well. We'll look at one more view of this here from TV number 2. Back this up all the way to where it starts here for Justin Bentley. Boy, he was certainly digging, giving it just about everything he had right here. And as that truck slips up, that was all the 46 of Phillips needed. Dives to the inside. There goes Fritz. All the way to the checkers here. Nice and smooth and nothing to worry about as he gets stage win by just about 3/4 of a truck. All right, and so as we go back live, everybody going to make a pit stop here. You would expect, although certainly could potentially throw a little bit of strategy into the mix with that caution, or rather string of cautions that we had. So nobody in the pits yet, but here they all come. They'll all make a stop as we get ready to go back to green. We're going to take a quick side-by-side break, and we'll talk to your stage 1 winner if we can when we come back. Stick with us at Michigan. Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway for the Blue Ridge 250. Stage 1 complete, and your Stage 1 winner was Wesley Phillips. Actually, before we do that, forgot that we had set up a little bit of radio chatter, so we'll get with him here in just a moment. Give me a quick moment to edit the audio so that you guys don't have to worry about here in race control, who just making some announcements after what was a pretty crazy Stage 1. And now that we've got that set, I believe we do have Wesley up here. Hey Wes, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
That's loud and clear, Austin.
Well, man, you bring home the Stage 1 win. What a chaotic finish it was. 3 wide. You make the pass on the bottom. You make it work. How did you plan that one out going down the back?
Mostly just got lucky. It's super hot and slick out here, so you got to be careful going through the corners. Just trying to keep the tires on it and keep it going forward off the corner.
We did just that. Now, Stage 2, going to be a little bit longer in distance. We've had a lot of cautions in Stage 1. How do you change the mindset and set yourself up for about a 40-lap run here?
Honestly, probably not expecting a 40-lap run, but we'll see how the cautions fall, and maybe we can get a long run and see what the pit strategy is here going to Stage 2.
Well, you've already got a stage one in the books tonight, maybe looking for number 2 and potentially looking for that first win of the season here later. We appreciate you talking to us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you much. Have a good one, Richard.
All right. And I'll take that. Hey, any day I can get called Richard Hurst, I'm not too mad about it. Richard, one of the greatest broadcasters, of course, in the business. Does Monday nights. Make sure you go check him out. And running in the race tonight. Always looking to see if he can get better experience with the guys that he runs around. What better way to do it? Green flag back in the air. Not the best restart from the inside. And already cautions out. Trouble with the restart further back. Finally caught up to the field. And Randy Bonomi involved in this one. Looks like the 66. Yeah, he does have some rear end damage. Again, further signs of what could have potentially been a checkup. And then Ryan Newman there in the 51 truck. Looks like he was slow. He's able to now get back rolling. Don't see any damage on his green and black Ford F-150. So he will also be able to get back rolling here without having to worry about using a fast spare, I do believe. And yeah, these two are going to be the two culprits in this one. It's not so much that it's a massive checkup on the restart. It's the problem of Ryan Newman here. He's starting to close the gap just as they get ready to go green. Bonomi catches. There's a checkup, and then Ryan Newman just not able to check up enough in time. That sends Bonomi into the outside wall where he collects Wiley Cantrell as well. So that's a really, really tough break. Actually, watch here. Yeah, he's just, the closing distance too great. You see a fire out of the pipes. The truck kind of tilt downwards, if you will. And he's trying everything, but it's too late. And, you know, we're not in Indy cars, right? I mean, we're in over 2,000-pound trucks. And so it's not just going to stop on a dime, right? So these guys just, another one of those incidents where maybe just, I don't know if, we'll call it a rookie mistake for now, and we'll leave it there. But Ryan Newman, you know, this is part of the reason you try to kind of keep a little bit of a consistent gap, and he's trying to close that gap. But here we go. Listen to the throttle as he starts to speed up, sees the checkup, trying, just not quite enough. And really tough break for Wiley Cantrell and Randy Bonomi, who were really just kind of the innocent victims in this one. But now they're going to have torn up trucks, and they'll have to go in and get that stitched up a little bit. Now, I will say in the defense here of Ryan Newman, it looked like an even bigger checkup for Bonomi here right at the end. I'm not sure. I think maybe he saw something in front, but there you see right there's the second checkup for Bonomi. And Newman looked like initially he could have ducked low to try to miss, but just couldn't quite do it in time. All right, so as we go back live towards the front of the field, Michael Lawrence being scored as your leader. Aiden Lund in second with Haas Beverly in third. Sam Boutwell in fourth. Wesley Phillips in fifth. Joey Hickok's back in sixth with Justin Parham in seventh. Kenneth Redinger in eighth. Matthew Fritz in ninth. And Kevin Winker now inside the top 10, up 13 positions from where he started this race at. And so the light's still on. We're going to get at least one more lap of pacing here. And all this is doing is shortening the total distance here for stage number 2. Initially, it was scheduled for 40 laps, but you knew with the caution laps it'd be closer to about 35 laps. And now with these caution laps, all of a sudden it becomes closer to 30 laps. As again, the end of stage 2 will come on the end of lap number 60. Expecting to go green if we get the one to go signal here with 28 laps complete. And then that, of course, would give us 33 laps to go in the stage. The fuel window is right around 24 to 26 laps, at least from what we've heard from a couple of the drivers in the field tonight. So nobody's still in that window to make it all the way, even if you save. And, I mean, speaking of saving, I don't even think this is a track where you really can save. It's just too much throttle time, too fast, and too draft heavy of a track. But we'll see how these guys approach it here. Do you try to pit early in the middle? Do you pit late? All about... I think the winning strategy here at Michigan in terms of trying to leapfrog the field would actually be pitting late, as long as you can stay within reach of the leaders or the guys that you're trying to pass for that matter. Short pitting, though, could be a pretty valuable strategy as well, though, as tire fall off pretty great here. You're going to make a lot of time up on new tires versus old tires. As we do get ready to go back to the green, talked about Michael Lawrence still being scored as your leader. Aiden Lund, though, in second. What a race that the rookie's having here tonight. He's up 13 positions from where he started and kind of been bursting on the scene for a couple of races that we've seen lately in multiple different leagues. Of course, we know him initially from the Gears Cup Series. See him over here in the NOMA Truck Series. I believe he's participated in a couple of money races that we've seen. And so Aiden Lund starting to get his presence out there, continues to get more and more races under his belt, and the improvement continues for the 32 as he is looking potentially score some stage points here. Still a long ways to go, though. Of course, in stage number 2, Haas Beverly You see a little bit of the battle scar that he's got on the left side of that truck as the paint looks a little bit warped from the contact earlier. And then Sam Boutwell with a great recovery after he was involved in the first caution of the night. He is now up 24 positions from where he started this race at in 4th. All right, here we go. Pace car going to make the left turn for the 5th time here tonight on restarts. And Michael Lawrence, first time that he's going to be leading the field to green. Got to be careful here. Remember, we already saw a jump restart earlier. Don't want to get caught right here. The field works their way up to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air at Michigan. Good restart. You see him fanning out further back, but staying 2x2 throughout. And the 12 of Michael Lawrence is going to get away with the lead down into turn number 1. Going to try to bring Haas Beverly along with him. That 22, though, I don't think he's quite going to get it. Now he slides up. Haas Beverly gets split. Middle of 3 wide as Wesley Phillips goes low as they enter the back straightaway. And that 46 truck made a very aggressive move, but it was a brilliant one at that, and it's going to work out if he can get clear here into turn 3. No dice, not going to be able to do it. You see, he puts that truck all the way on the yellow. We talked about it. That lane not necessarily too valuable, except potentially on these restarts. Problem is, cold tires causing the problems that we're seeing out back. Matthew Fritz and Kenneth Redinger with a huge moment off of turn 4. Redinger got down low. Tires hadn't heated up. There was no grip, and all of a sudden, man, that 24 got kicked out of shape in a hurry. He almost went around. Really, really lucky to save it right there was Kenneth Redinger. And so now he finds himself further back, and he'll slot in line, but it's Aiden Lund, the rookie, who will now take over the lead here, up 14 positions from where he started this race at. Michael Lawrence continues to fade, but man, it's incredible the difference that clean air can make. Problem is, Wesley Phillips a little bit better, potentially on just a little bit better tire right now. He's going to jump to the outside of the 32 down the front straightaway. Sam Boutwell, Joey Hickox, multiple others rolling the top as well. In fact, it's really only 2 on the bottom as we start to see Kevin Winker pop back into frame now. The 46 going to be able to get clear this time. Aiden Lund will have to slide up into second. 47 to Sam Boutwell. He rolled the top there through 1 and 2. He's got a big run. Will the 47 be able to take it here? He's clear the 12, but looks like he's not. Going to stay up for now. See if the 32 goes low. And the 12 of Michael Lawrence dives it in early on entry. And kind of the trade-off that you get with that is you get a little bit cleaner air on the nose right now. But the problem is, if you're entering the corner earlier, you're going to be scrubbing off a lot more front tire than everybody else. 3 wide here with Kevin Winker, Joey Hickox, and Justin Parham. Down the front stretch, you see plenty of room to do it. And even with all that room, these guys still manage to find each other's tours. And getting ready to potentially go 4 wide here. 47 to Sam Boutwell had himself in a little bit of an awkward spot as now Joey Hickox. He gets up, tags the outside wall. A couple others do further back. Michael Lawrence staying side by side with the 3 truck, not wanting to give up any more positions than he's already lost since this restart. Again, 6 sets of tires for a track like Michigan. I know there's a lot of wear, but I got to believe that there is still probably plenty of speed, even in somewhat old tires here in Michigan with the draft, at least early on, but you're certainly going to fade a lot more. But my point being, and the reason I mention those tires is you've got enough where I think you can afford to take them at least for the stage breaks and potentially once besides that during a caution for each stage. Now, that final stage, of course, going to be a little bit shorter than what we saw here for stage number 2. And that's if we go green the rest of the way at this point. But further back, a lot of side-by-side racing. The 88 here of Clay Cantrell going to draw even here as he's getting to the left rear of Kenneth Redinger down into turn number 3. Redinger slides up. The 88's going to try to hold some momentum as Keith Prince with a big moment off of 4. He gets a little loose, and now he dives down to the bottom of the racetrack. Haas Beverly, Matthew Fritz with a little bit of a tandem versus the tandem on the outside there of Ronnie Morrison and Nick Wood. David Traylor continues to climb his way through the field, and I feel like this is a little bit of a rare occurrence that we're seeing right now for David Traylor here tonight. A great run, of course, don't get me wrong, well inside the top 10 right now. The problem is we're used to seeing him on the podium by now, and he's still slowly working his way through the field. Traffic has not been an easy thing to get through here tonight, and all the cautions that we've had early on have certainly not helped his case. And Haas Beverly was in the middle of 3 wide there just for a split second. And now it's going to be Nick Wood who potentially finds himself in the middle of 3 wide. Keith Prince, though, bails out a little bit. He'll let the 0-2 tuck back in. And up front, the gap now between your leader and second place, less than 1/10 of a second and less than a truck length. Kevin Winker he continued to move his way through the field. Again, last week's winner, coming off just about all the momentum in the world, and boy, would he love to go back-to-back here tonight. The 46 of Wesley Phillips, your Stage 1 winner. So both of these trucks, potentially two of your top three trucks here tonight, and then Justin Parham, one of the Grandstand Racing teammates, rounding out the podium. Aiden Lund, by the way, after falling initially there after a handful of laps or so on that restart, looks like he started to settle in here a little bit. And this is good news for the rookie. The more laps he can hold on to that track position, the better. Maybe we can get a break here and a caution, or again, if he can just make it to the lap that he has planned for his green flag pit stop. Oh my goodness. Sam Boutwell and Joey Hickox. Almost a case of a little bit physicality there as they got into the corner. Looked like Sam Boutwell turned in a little early. Joey maybe got in just a little bit late, and they almost touched doors. Looks like everybody holds on. How about we get an onboard ride, though, here with one of the guys back in the draft? In fact, we're going to go to second place, Kevin Winker here. This gives you pretty good insight of just how fast they're running here at Michigan. Again, track 10 tonight, 118, so it is hot. It is slick out there. But man, oh man, one of the fastest tracks in all the series, and this is why. Going to hit almost 190 miles an hour down the front. And then you see for Justin Parham, who caught a draft, he does actually clip just about 190 down into the turns, almost full throttle, depending on which lane you're running. The bottom saves you a little bit more tire, but you do have to get out of the throttle a little bit more as well. And then now battle for the lead is on. Kevin Winker versus Wesley Phillips is now. Caution is out. We got trouble. Two of them around on the back. That was Michael Lawrence and Aiden Lund. Man, two of the guys that we were talking about trying to hold on with strategy play for this stage break, and all of a sudden going to wipe that slate clean as both of them were involved in this wreck and are going to lose any track position that they were hoping to hold on to. And this starts on the back here. 32 all of a sudden, after I said he wasn't fading too much, is going to fade a little bit more here off of turn number 2. Not sure if he gets tight or loose. And not really any of them. He gets into the wall. That's what it is. And then as he bounces off the wall, comes down the racetrack. 12 of Michael Lawrence is there. That's going to send them both for a four-wheel slide. Both trucks almost synchronized spinning as the 12 taps the 32. And then a Lund taps the outside wall. But it looks like the damage that he got to the right rear bumper puffs out, at least for the 32. The front end looks pretty clean. And so they both get back rolling with, again, really little to no damage. A couple scrapes. So that's good news for both of these guys, as they'll be able to continue on. And Lund, again, he gets on the straightaway here without really any issue. It's actually once he's already straight that he hits the outside wall. Here's the onboard view. And I think, again, at that point, you're trying to get the truck off the wall as soon as possible to avoid getting really any damage, and maybe just turn the wheel just a little bit too aggressive right there. Definitely something that has happened to me before, because you know that wall has a tendency to kind of suck you in unless you're able to turn off of it. And you know, if Michael Lawrence is maybe just a little bit further behind, the 32 gets away with the save there, but 12 had a run. He was on the inside, and so just kind of wrong place, wrong time for the 12 of Michael Lawrence. And honestly, even the case for Aiden Lund after hitting the wall. Then once he slides down right here, there's the contact, and I thought for sure when you have two trucks that make contact at that spot on this racetrack and slide towards the inside wall that quick, it usually doesn't end pretty. So these two, again, very, very fortunate in this case. Almost a second chance at life here, as you won't have to, again, use that fast repair. Did bring down quite a few guys for pit stops here. Full fuel, 4 tires. Looks to be the most popular strategy right here. And so this will shake up track position a little bit, and it will also now set us up all the way to the end of stage number 2. It's going to be about 20 laps to go when we get the green flag. So everybody, again, going to be plenty good to go on fuel and tire for this 22 to 23 lap stint, depending on, again, when we go green right here. And so, excuse me, 20 to 22 lap sprint. Sam Boutwell being scored as your leader. Currently, he's up 27 positions from where he started this race. Kevin Winker in second, Wesley Phillips in third, Justin Parham back in fourth, Chase Greer in fifth, Justin Bentley in sixth with Mark Beverly in seventh, David Traylor eighth, Joey Hickox in ninth, and Ronnie Morrison currently rounding out your top 10. 38 of 95 laps complete. At the end of the day, we're still not even halfway through this 250-mile event. Actually, race a little bit shorter than that. 95 laps, we'll call it 100. It'd be about 200 miles, so not quite 250 miles here, the distance tonight at Michigan, but nonetheless, one of those tracks that a lot of guys were looking to take the opportunity to capture their first win of the season, and still a lot of guys in contention, potentially to make that hope become reality here tonight. And speaking of the schedule and some of the opportunistic tracks that we still have coming up next week, big opportunity for anybody as we go to Talladega Super Speedway. That will be the last official Super Speedway of the season after, of course, we went to Daytona to kick things off. And after that, we head to Darlington. Going to be a very technical, tricky track. And you got an even trickier one after that. That's right, it's Pocono with the Tricky Triangle on May 4th, followed up by Kentucky. And then rounding it off is going to be Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be a pretty long race as well, 140 laps. That one will have 3 stages. Of course, kind of marking what will be the longest race of the season. Now, interesting note, looks like we do have an off week next week, I believe, as Talladega, is scheduled for April 13th. And if that's the case, we'll, of course, have official word on that, but I hope everybody does enjoy their off week if we don't get to see you next Saturday. Certainly appreciate seeing you here tonight. All right. Here we go. Going to be exactly 21 laps to go on the stage. So again, everybody officially now good to go on fuel. Tires going to be able to last that long as well. Question is, can we make it that far without a caution? The way the trends have been going tonight, I don't know if I see it happening, but if these guys can get settled into a rhythm, you never know. The 8 of Chase Greer now moving his way impressively up to the field as he is up to 12th. Up to 6th, up 12 from where he started. Highest running position today. Mark Beverly just behind him in the 97. Rolling back up to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. This time it's a massive jump from the outside line. Sam Boutwell quickly going to pull away to about a 3-truck length lead as they get down into turn number 1. Justin Parham, man, he thought about maybe trying to split Kevin Winkler there on the outside into turn 1. Realized there wasn't really going to be any momentum, so he thought better of it. Duck back down the line. Mark Beverly looking 3 wide on last season's regular season champion and rookie of the year, Chase Greer. And it looks like he was able to carry that momentum enough to stay to the left rear. And that 97, watch for him to potentially get clear here out of 4. Big check up in the middle. Trailer had to bail out of it. That'll get Mark Beverly 1 position. Not going to be able to quite get 2. 3 wide now is Boutwell fading in a hurry. Cold tires, big struggle. Now Matthew Fritz. Some contact between him and Ronnie Morrison sends him down into Kenneth Redinger. A lot of tough racing here. Again, these restarts, they create it. A lot of turbulent air, cold tires. Everybody trying to get these trucks to handle a little bit better. All while, of course, fighting for this track position. But Kevin Winker now being scored as your leader after the slip-up from Sam Boutwell. Parham and Bentley going at it for second with the 46 of Wesley Phillips back in third. Don't forget that 46 truck was your stage 1 winner, so he knows how to get the job done, especially what we've seen in the short run. And now Kevin Winker looks like he's going to have to surrender this spot potentially to Justin Parham. First time leading here on the night for the Grandstand Racing driver, Justin Parham. We saw Parham grab a win earlier this season already. Felt like it had been a little bit of a long time coming, but now that the pressure's off to a degree for the 19 truck, just looking to see if he can grab a couple more before we wrap the regular season up and head into the playoffs. Blake Cantrell looking to get to the inside here of Joey Hickox. Venom Racing, a little bit of a mixed batch here tonight. They've had a couple of drivers with a good start to the race, but overall, things have looked a little bit rough, and trying to patch them up here is Jay Stinson and Joey Hickox run 9th and 10th at the moment. Cantrell falls back to 11th. Matthew Fritz, another one of those Venom Racing teammates, he is back in 12th right now. And the highest running Venom Racing teammate at the moment was indeed, well, I say was, Chase Greer, but looks like since then the 8 has fallen all the way back to 19th. So he's just trying to hang on now. What's going to be for the next 17 laps when they cross the stripe next time. Still quite a bit of ways to go here to already be struggling on handling in this run, but I'll tell you a guy who's not struggling on handling, that's David Traylor in the 54. 3 wide and looking confident with it. He'll be able to easily get clear here. Well, I said easily, maybe not so much. Beverly's hanging tight on his door through turn 3 and 4. And so David Traylor chooses not to go with the committed slide job route and instead going to try to hold whatever momentum he can here on the bottom down the front. Parham now, he slips up, loses all his ground. He'll fall back to outside of the top 4, almost outside of the top 5 just briefly. And this slip up is going to be another mistake of just really maybe overdriving a little bit as you're trying everything to stay out in front. And it doesn't take much here, but Parham had been leading there for a moment, and Kevin Winker was able to take it back. And where does the slip up occur here? That's what you got to ask yourself. Well, I take it back. I mean, we're going back here multiple laps, and it doesn't look like there was a slip up. I thought there may have been with the way things were set up. And now look at this. Cluster for the lead. Mark Beverly all of a sudden will take over the lead. 2 by 2, side by side up front. Justin Bentley on the outside, Mark Beverly on the inside. Looks like we are at Talladega or Daytona, something we'd expect with all the pushing that we just saw down the front straightaway that time. But the more this group races, the more people that they're going to pull up into contention. In fact, right now, all the way back to the 12th position are within a second of your leader. Throw them all under a blanket. We saw Ronnie Morrison make some contact there with the outside wall. He keeps it together, keeps it straight. Into turn number 3, looked like that time Mark Beverly tried to maybe slightly bully the 16 up the track. It worked out well. The 97 trying to complete the slide job. It's not quite going to work. Ronnie Morrison further back, going to make another dive move to the inside, trying to get below this 12. You can use the apron here. Does the 69 do it? He doesn't. 3 wide, and oh my goodness, what a pass from Wesley Phillips. He just slammed the door in the face of Mark Beverly. Watch this move again. This may be the best move we see all night. He gets a run off of turn number 4, sets himself up with a draft, and he's going to utilize all of this white line. Beverly gives him the option. Wesley Phillips says thank you very much, goes all the way down below the apron as they fan out 3 wide. And when I said he was clear, boy, it was not by much. Maybe just enough to slide a piece of paper in between those 2 trucks, but what a brilliant move, again, from Wesley Phillips here in the middle of stage number 2. Justin Bentley, though, fighting hard, doesn't want to let this 46 run away, and he has got a good pull on the outside. Is now Kevin Winker looking to get some payback as he'll try to work the outside here through 1 and 2 as well. 24, Kenneth Redditor slides up in front of his teammate is Stinson. Hard into the outside safer barrier goes to 31. Not sure what caused him to get so offline there, but it was certainly significant contact. Gonna wonder how bad does that damage the right side of the Venom Racing teammate. Riley Gomes, Bill Hale's going to slip by without any further incident. We'll go back to TV1. Watch Jay Stinson here as he comes across the viewing area. Caution is out, so it's not going to matter. That'll give him a break to the 31. Is trouble out back again. The 32 of Aiden Lunn. Second incident that he's been involved in here tonight. The 32 Oatmeal Cream Pie Chevy Silverado gets back rolling, but damage has already been done. Well, I say damage, I mean track position damage, of course. Truck itself, not looking too bad. In fact, pretty clean from all the angles we can see at least. So he'll get this thing back rolling, back caught up with the field. May have to take 4 tires, as I'm sure he flat spotted the ones that he had. And here we go. Watch this back as he might get into a little bit of a tangle here, it looks like, with Ryan Newman in the 51. Looks like from that view, the 32 may have already been loose. We'll watch this all the way from where it's potentially kind of starts to get sparked up here. Turn number 3 on the entry. They're side by side, the 32 with a wide arc as the 51 slips up. That's all the 32 needed. The problem is the truck starts sliding out on him, and he's trying to save it, but unfortunately, when the truck slides out, it has a tendency to go down the racetrack when you're trying to save it. And as he got down the racetrack, he got into the 51 of Ryan Newman. Nothing Newman could do, and that sent the 32 for a slide. Another harmless one as it looked like just a simple 360 and then back going in the right direction. I was lucky that that truck did not slide back up into traffic. So there was a couple on-rushing trucks. Good save overall by Aiden Lunn from where he locked it down to where he let it roll to keep it on a pretty straight line based off where he first wrecked. Certainly makes it easier for other drivers to avoid him. But here's the onboard view, and watch what I'm talking about with that getting loose. Even when tires are warm, it's still very possible to get loose, and he's trying to hug that seam, and back end just starts to slide out. He's trying to stay as committed as he can to the throttle here to not give up too much track position, but sometimes your best friend is simply just picking up your lead foot, the right foot, of course, and in this case, the 32 goes around. Goes for a slide. Boy, what a miss that was for Chase Greer and the 13 of Derek Catt. Oh my goodness, what a close call this was. Watch this from the onboard view of Derek Catt. Well, you talk about a split second to react as he's on the brakes here. All of a sudden, once the 32 slides down, he realizes his best option is going to be to gas it up and duck down left. It works out in this case. What a save for both of those trucks. Let's go back live. Lunn into the pits. Again, 4 tires, fuel topping off as the rest of the field gets ready for another restart. The 46 of Wesley Phillips being scored as your leader. Justin Bentley second. Kevin Winker in third with Kenneth Reddinger in fourth. Justin Parham fifth. Ronnie Morrison in sixth. Joey Hickok seventh. Matthew Fritz eighth. There's Richard Hurst, broadcaster for the Monday Night Super Speedway Series, currently sitting back in that 9th position. And then Keith Prince currently rounds out your top 10 here at Michigan. All right, well, as the pace car works its way around, gets ready to get the one to go here and hopefully get ready to go back to green flag racing. We're going to take another quick side-by-side break. We'll be right back for another restart here at Michigan. Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. It's the Blue Ridge 250 here at the 2-mile D-shaped oval. A little bit of fun history facts. I believe actually the fastest recorded speed for any NASCAR series car, if you will, was recorded here at Michigan back in the COT era. Those guys were getting well up to almost, actually over 210 miles an hour down into turn number 1. That's what makes the racing so fun here is the high speeds. And of course, with the trucks, the big spoiler in the back, high downforce, makes for a lot of great pack racing. And then in the long run, a lot of great tire and strategy racing as green flag goes back in the air. Officially makes it 9 laps to go here in stage number 2. Wesley Phillips gets out to a great jump. First time here in a little while that we've seen one of the leaders be able to get up, get an arc into turn 1. Justin Bentley's going to try to take it a lane lower. Good defense here by Phillips to not give up the outside. And he'll be looking for a decent run here down the back. But Justin Bentley's going to be able to hold pretty strong here. And in fact, he stays side by side. Bentley looking for a side draft as Winker sends the 46 off into turn number 3 with a good push. Rolling up to the top of the racetrack here. The 42 still closer. If Redinger could get to the back bumper of Bentley, they may have a chance to get clear, but that outside just, again, a mix of the momentum. And then, of course, those two getting linked up a little bit quicker is just really hindering Justin Bentley right now. I should note that with 10 laps to go, you're really not concerned here about doing much, if any, tire saving. Maybe if you're about 5th on back in this lead pack, though, such as Joey Hickox, Ronnie Morrison, maybe save just a little bit of tire as you're working through this traffic as you make these moves. That way, if you do get yourself to the top 3, potentially fight for that lead here as we approach the end of the stage. Still going to be 7 laps to go when they cross the line this time, so still plenty of time, 14 miles, but it can still go by quick if you're not careful. And Justin Bentley continues to work the bottom. Nobody has dared try to split him 3 wide yet. Redinger continues to work, but now it's like Redinger's going to board ship as he jumps up to the top lane. Justin Parham in line as well. That puts Grandstand Racing with 2 trucks together now on the outside. Matthew Fritz behind his teammate Joey Hickox on the inside. Bentley still in a drag race with Kevin Winker. Now it's going to fade back to a drag race with Kenneth Redinger. Winker gets clear, has a chance to make a move, but I don't think he's going to take it just yet. Got to set that move up. You got to have a good run. And Wesley Phillips goes to the inside again. This will give that 42 another shot here, potentially by the time they get down to turn number 1. There you see the closing distance. Phillips tries to go all the way down to the apron. He wants to shorten this distance because he knows Kevin Winker's got to run. Winker looks to the outside into turn 1, cuts him off. Does Wesley Phillips. Good defense again there by the 46 to make sure that the 42 could not get to his outside. Kevin Winker's going to have to rack it up and try it again right here. Ooh, Ronnie Morrison with a big moment there off at turn number 2. Almost got down into the 97 here of Mark Beverly. Boy, Beverly has got quite the view right now out of his front windshield. He is watching all this chaos and calamity. We get to see his view not only from the virtual cockpit, but of course the real-life cockpit. As you can see, boy, it is not an easy job running in a pack like this. It's stressful. The 97, he wants some stage points. The driver out of Salem, Ohio. We see him, of course, in the Asphalt Outlaw Racing Truck Series. Already has a win on the season over there, but looking to see if he can capture one here in the NOMA Truck Series as he ducks back to the inside here. Wesley Phillips, though, being scored as your leader. Mark Beverly pushes up to second as he gets clear there of Kevin Winker. And that's going to leave him here with 4 laps to set his sights on the leader, Wesley Phillips. Wrecking out back. Caution is out. Trouble going into turn number 3 here. Not sure. Oh, got one spun around here, I believe. But Justin Bentley, he's got some problems. And I'm not sure if the other truck that we saw spun was able to get back going yet or not. Oh, it was Zach Stevens in the 33, who we hadn't had a chance to talk too much about just yet tonight. And he's got definitely some left side damage. Couldn't tell if he's got any more anywhere. I said left side damage again, not much. Really just a little bit of an indent there on the left side door, but even at a track that you would think it's not important, or excuse me, I kind of mixed that up. I should say maybe not important at all tracks, but here at Michigan, any damage is a big deal because this is a very, very aero-dependent track. Again, you're running high speeds, but it's not enough banking to necessarily stay full throttle and stay with the pack if you don't have a truck that's clean aerodynamically. But before we talk anything about that, let's see how exactly Stevens finds himself turned around. This is one of the Venning Racing drivers that was racing around. A couple of his teammates there. See Joey Hickox just behind with Matthew Fritz just in front. And this was going down the back. Watch the chopper view. 4 wide for a minute. That's certainly, there's room for it here, but doesn't always end well. And Justin Bentley gets into his left rear. That's what's going to send Stevens around here. The 16 does end up going for a bit of a slide as well. Stevens with a good save initially, but oh man, as he slides back up, oh my goodness. A couple of really, really close hold your breath moments there as there was nothing Stevens could do. He had the brakes locked up. Problem was just that the truck with that much speed, even as he was trying to scrub it off, slid back up onto the banking. Let's watch this a little bit closer here to see, does Stevens move down? All right, so here we go. At this point, Justin Parham, he's got his left side tires pretty much straddling that seam. I guess it'd be the 3rd seam, and then you see Zach Stevens kind of straddling that 4th seam. And it looks to me here like, yeah, Parham definitely comes up just a little bit, but I think at the same time, Stevens maybe comes down a little bit. Just really aggressive racing. I mean, when you're 4 wide, there's not a lot of room to work with anyway, and I think that case, both guys just kind of unfortunately ran out of room. There goes Zach Stevens back up the track, and wow, I think that was Tyler Clemis, who somehow, someway managed to miss this. He was involved in a wreck earlier, but how about the wreck avoidance right here for the 15? Watch this. He sees the spin, starts slowing up, but not slowing up enough, and then, man, that could have ended badly. If he would have piled into Zach Stevens, that would have been a huge hit for both of those trucks and a guaranteed fast pair as well. We talked about, we also saw Justin Bentley go for a spin here as well. So, you know, this has been the case, honestly, for a couple of the last cautions we've had where not a whole lot of damage really for either of these trucks, more or less just a little bit of a setback in terms of track position. And now, especially with it being this late in the stage, I don't know how well that's going to work out. I think we are going to go back green, though, here still in stage number 2, especially if they get the want-to-go signal right here. In fact, they'd have to get the want-to-go signal here if we're going to finish this thing with a green flag one-lap shootout. Let's see, do the lights go off? I'm looking for them. They do. So, yeah, this will be exactly a one-lap shootout here to decide stage number 2. Sam Boutwell going to line up on the front row alongside Derek Catt. Clay Cantrell back in 3rd with Wesley Phillips in 4th. Mark Beverly 5th. Justin Parham in 6th. Kevin Winker in 7th with Richard Hurst in 8th. Matthew Fritz 9th. And Joey Hickox rounding out your top 10. Well, normally one lap is kind of the get up to speed lap for everybody. You're trying to figure things out. But in this case, it's going to act as the white flag lap again for the stage. So they're going to be fanning out 3 and 4 wide here the entirety of this lap. There won't really be too much patience. Definitely not a lot of give. I think it's going to be probably just about all take. But we'll see here who's able to come home victorious. Again, Wesley Phillips got the stage number 1 win. He starts back and forth, so definitely not a bad spot to be in right here But he's got 2 trucks in front of him that he's going to have to try to find a way to get around here without losing a position to potentially Clay Cantrell, Mark Beverly, or Justin Parham, who've all been equally as fast and are going to be surrounding the 46 here for this restart. All right, here we go. Pace car working its way through turn 3 and 4. About the racing that we have seen so far here tonight. I mean, stage 1 came down to a photo finish. Looking like stage 2 has the potential to do the same. A virtual crowd back on their feet. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 1 lap to go in stage 2 at Michigan. That was a big jump for Sam Boutwell that time. That one would get me a little worried. Maybe a little bit too big of a jump here for the 47. But as they work down into turn number 1, so far things looking clean and tidy for the moment, as now Boutwell start to create a little distance between himself and Clay Cantrell. Wesley Phillips going to be able to hang even with the 88, but that may have been all the distance right there that Sam Boutwell needed to come home a winner here in the stage. Final set of corners. Does Phillips have anything for the 47? Sam Boutwell looks like he's going to go with the late arc approach. Oh, hold your breath here. The 46, he's got to run. This could come all the way down to the checkered flag. Nope, not going to. Justin Palm looking to split the middle. Wesley Phillips throws the block, but it's Sam Boutwell who crosses the green-white checkered first, and he is your stage 2 winner. Still racing off into turn 1. No caution just yet. I wonder if maybe they called the stage already. This is really interesting. Maybe they did officially call the stage under that last caution, because these guys are still going at it here. Yeah, no caution. So maybe it was not considered Wesley Phillips your stage winner. In fact, we're going to go back here to the yellow flag, actually just before the green flag here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, you know, all the data we had did show the end of stage 2 at lap 60. The only thing that could go against that would, of course, be if when that last caution came out, race control deemed that to be the end of the stage. And you know, based off some of the guys that we saw pit, it's certainly a possibility. I'm not exactly sure on that one. We'll have to get a call from that with race control if we can during our next break. But right now, as we continue to keep it green, that now makes it 62 laps complete. 46 of Wesley Phillips. Bing scores your leader right now. The 19 of Justin Parham in second. Richard Hurst up to third. And a little bit of 3 wide getting ready to set up just behind is now the 42 of Kevin Winker. Going to try to pinch the 88 up along the wall. Doesn't want to let him use, or rather wants to use the 47 as a pick. Mark Beverly, Matthew Fritz just behind that 2-truck tandem, along with the 29 of Matthew Fritz. All lined up as it's Clinton Woodby now looking to the top of the racetrack further back. And Wesley Phillips continues to lead the charges. Wow, that was a really close call right there between the 97 of Mark Beverly, and I couldn't tell if that was the 88 or the 29 that gave him the close call he had, and now the 76 of Richard Hurst with a close call of his own. Boy, he missed the entry to the corner right there, and you can see just how much momentum it cost him. Potentially going to lose third right here, maybe even fourth if he's not careful, but looks like he starts to recover now down the front straightaway. He'll get back clear of the 47 of Sam Boutwell, jumps back down to the bottom, snakes up to the top. But boy, Justin Parham is laying the pressure on right now. Wesley Phillips just trying to see if he can catch him and make a mistake here. Phillips, though, continues to run a very, very smooth line now. I believe it was when we were actually at Auto Club that we saw the 46 running a lot of speed down low, something that we really didn't see anybody else be able to do. And that was kind of a big bonus for him, because he was able to make a lot of track position up, utilizing that clean air, and also able to save some tire and ultimately run strong even in the long run when he was up front. So Wesley Phillips definitely showing that if you're able to wrap that bottom lane, not quite by the yellow, but that first seam, certainly can pay dividends in the end if you can hold on long enough. Problem here is Justin Parham has now got to his outside, and all of a sudden, got to think that'll give Parham the preferred lane. Sure enough, it does. 46 has to get out of the gas. So does the 19, though, as Richard Hurst looks for a block on Kevin Winker. Nothing doing. Nancy Hickok says in the chat, Austin, the owners are messing with us about stage cautions. You got that right, Nancy. I want an explanation here. As, hold your breath here. Tyler Clemens, trouble. The 15 truck. Looking for him here, not sure exactly where this incident took place at. Whatever the deal was, Clemens has towed that 15 truck to the pits. And this was not, well, boy, now I'm really confused, because this certainly should not have been for the stage break. but potentially was it? The end of 60 here. You would almost think that was the end of... I'm not sure. These guys have me all confused here. No, that certainly, I don't think could have been the stage breaks. They were in the middle of turn 3. And we did get reported trouble here for Tyler Clemmis. So watch the 15 here. This was over in turn 1 and 2. I don't play it here and go to the blimp cam. So Clemmis, he's got a run on the 12 here of Michael Lawrence as they get into turn number 1. And runs up on the back, does a little bit of a checkup here. Now he's going to look for a run to the inside of Michael Lawrence. But as he gets to the exit of the corner, sees an even bigger run, shoots to the inside here of Trailer, and yikes, think he just maybe misjudges that a little bit there as Trailer was still holding the bottom. And the 15 just comes up the track and gets him right in the left rear. Nothing David Trailer could do. And it sends them both towards the inside wall. The 15 trying to save it. Wow, that was a huge hit to the left side of that truck. If he gets a little bit further here, he might save it. The problem is he hit one of those openings. And as a result here, see the wall right there? How if he gets just a little bit further here, there's a chance he saves it. He's doing a great job trying to hold on to it, but unfortunately just runs out of room. David Trailer, by the way, he does hold on to this, I believe. Watch the 54 right here. He's driving it for all he's worth, and in fact, we're going to see if we can actually go to David Trailer right here. See if he did officially hold on to it. I think he did. Yeah, the 54 was able to save it, but it was the 15 there, Tyler Clemens, who was not so lucky. Let's get just another potential rookie mistake there for the 15, as I think, like I said, that he was just, maybe thinking that David was going to slide up, thinking maybe they weren't 3 wide when he makes this move, and the run was there, but unfortunately he's not able to hold it down. And when he drives up right there, might have been a little bit of net code, but there was definitely going to be contact. And here's the 15. He gets it pointed back the right direction, but just runs out of room. And, that tank slapper was so hard that you see it again. Pushes all 4 tires off the ground without even hitting the front of the truck. That's one of the most brutal hits that we have seen here tonight. Clemens took the worst shot earlier in the race, and now he's taken potentially the second worst here late in the race. Give you an onboard view of this before we go back live and check out what's going on up front. Man, big hit for the 15 truck. So 67 laps now complete, as I don't expect us to get the one-to-go signal this time. I think these guys will have to go at least one more time around after this. But it is Wesley Phillips being scored as your leader, Justin Parham in second, Richard Hurst in third, Mark Beverly fourth, and Matthew Fritz rounding out your top 5. And the pace car proves me wrong. Looks like we do indeed get the one-to-go signal, as Karen Williams says flying license. You got that right. I'm wondering if these guys are offering bonus points for airtime, because he certainly might have got his fair share of them here tonight if that's the case. But we're going to get a quick word here with an admin based off of who was your stage winner. So we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, an official word from what we have is that it was whoever was leading at the time of the yellow, which I believe was Wesley Phillips. Here we'll go back to kind of confirm, if you will. And it looks like that is indeed going to be the case right here. Yeah, Wesley Phillips out in front. So bring out the broom. It's a sweep for Wesley Phillips, at least through stage number 1 and stage number 2. So there you go. TK says 54 had 20 feet to move up. He did, TK. Like I said, I completely agree that I think that's what Tyler Clemens was expecting. And by no fault are you putting the 15 there saying he did anything egregious. Just one of those things where Trailer may be trying to hold it down there to maybe stall the momentum of the 15. Whatever the case may be, just a little bit of that almost unspoken communication gone wrong right there between 2 trucks, and ends in your 9th caution of the night. All right, here we go. We take the green flag. It's going to be just about 25. We're going to make it 27 laps to go as green flag back in the air here at Michigan. The 46 is going to slide up the track. Gets clear by plenty here before they even get to the entrance of turn number 1. Wesley Phillips down with a great lead, as now it's the 19 of Justin Parham who tries to pin the door to Richard Hurst. He'll get a great run off of turn number 2 with an arrow push here from Mark Beverly and Joey Hickox. Richard Hurst leading the bottom. And I'll tell you what, Hurst, he's been learning here tonight, and you can tell it's paying off. He's up 9 positions from where he started this race at, and each restart keeps getting better and better, and he's up here in contention We already saw him get one win. In fact, the win came at one of the super speedways we went to here for the NOMA Truck Series. Now looking to see if he can add on a second win here at potentially one of the other tracks for the NOMA Truck Series. And right now, looking really, really good as he gets back into that third spot, final podium spot, if you will. Matthew Fritz in fourth, 3 wide now with Mark Beverly stuck in the middle. The 3 of Joey Hickox just behind Zach Stevens. Multiple others wrecking out back. Hard into the outside wall goes Sam Boutwell. Caution is out as everybody scrambles to miss him. Debris everywhere. Ryan Newman, the other truck involved. Smoke out of the back, and this will unfortunately bring an end to the night for Sam Boutwell as he already had to use his fast repair earlier, and you see the front bumper of that truck barely hanging on. He might be able to go in here to try to see if these guys can tape the front end back on, but I don't think they're going to have much luck. This thing is total. So all that front end damage came from that contact with the outside wall. They were racing really aggressive back here, and ooh, looks like Ryan Newman maybe just going to get a little bit loose. That's Clinton Woodby just behind Ryan Newman, but is there contact here? Ooh, I think there may have been. Back this up one more time. And watch again on the outside. We're going to go to the chopper view for this. So you got Clinton Woodby starting to get a run on Ryan Newman here. I mean, he's looking, the gap's there. He's looking to take it. This is going to put him 3 wide. And as he ducks low here, I think Ryan Newman's going to try to cover it. Yeah, I mean, Woodby's driving down. In fact, you see Jeremy Beal bails out of the throttle because he sees the 92 coming down. And yeah, I mean, that's not really much more to it. Just looks like Ryan Newman's trying everything he can to cover and just not really clear. Maybe a little bit of net code as well there. It actually gets the 51. Turnaround gets him down into the 47. What a save by Woodby there to keep the truck straight. Jeremy Beal also had nowhere to go. He gets run into from Nick Wood. But then at the end of the day, it's Sam Boutwell takes the biggest contact of them all here. Give you a bit of a different angle from behind. And right there, all it takes is that slight contact. Boy, that was a huge hit to the outside wall for Sam Boutwell. You see the bumper piece from Ryan Newman go flying. Trying to see if there's a little bit more of a frontal angle of this. Yeah, there certainly is. Here we go. And it just all happened so quick. You don't have much time to react as a driver, and Sam Boutwell really had no time to react right there. But Clinton Woodby is going to stink by. He did not really sustain any damage from this, if you will. So that will, again, bring Sam Boutwell's night to an end. Bradley Beal, I said Bradley Beal. I meant to say Jeremy Beal does a really good job making it through this one. I know he got damaged, but overall, it certainly could have been a lot worse. Question was, how hard was the hit? Ooh, I'm going to take that back. I mean, he does a good job missing it once he's already in it, but that's still a pretty heavy hit to the right front here for Jeremy Beal. And yeah, you can see it's crumpled in there past the tire, so he's going to have to go in and get that repaired. If he's got a fast repair, he might consider taking it, as it looked like there was some rear end damage there for Jeremy Beal as well. And sure enough, finds himself in the pits here with 24 laps to go, working on those damages from the last wreck. Back up front, Kevin Winker being scored as your leader, Kenneth Redinger in second. Clinton Woodby back in third with Keith Prince in fourth, Riley Gomes in fifth, David Traylor in sixth, Derek Catt in seventh, Michael Lawrence eighth, Aiden Lunn in ninth, and Bill Hales rounding out your top 10. See if the pace car flips the switch here. If we get the one-to-go signal, or if these guys are going to make one more travel around. Nope, we do get the one-to-go signal, so we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Boy, Clinton Woodby, he's had a couple of phenomenal chances, not only here in the NOMA Truck Series, but of course in the Asphalt Outlaw Racing Truck Series, and avoiding that last wreck seems like has helped his chances even more. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him here. Hey Clinton, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Well, I'll tell you what, you find yourself in great position here again as we start to near the end of this race. It's going to be 22 laps to go. You're up in the podium. Question is, how do you maintain this spot and potentially try to go for your first win of the season here tonight?
Honestly, I'm just trying to ride around. I wasn't even trying to get into Ryan there, but he went from the bottom to the top, and I just tried to go down and not hit him, but he was there anyway. So just trying to be patient here still, but everybody's just driving really hard still.
Yeah, it's certainly been a challenge all night now. You know, you talked about that accident. Of course, we know it was just that, an accident, just a little bit of a mistake there with the 51 coming down. But, you know, after you're involved in a wreck like that, how do you kind of change the mindset and get back into this thing?
You just got to stay at it.
Sounds like a good plan. Well, hey, thanks for talking to us. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see if we're talking to you at Victory Lane later tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it, y'all. Have a good one.
You as well. Clinton Woodby, there you go, says you just got to stay focused, keep going. And that is why you always hear everyone say race car drivers, they've got a pretty short-term memory because that's what you got to have. I mean, he's in third now. He's got to focus forward here. Try to go for the lead, and he's getting ready to get aggressive. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 22 laps to go at Michigan. Good restart for the 42 of Kevin Winker. He's going to be able to get to a lead here before they even get down to turn number 1. Kenneth Redinger, Keith Prince side by side, one of the veterans versus not one of the rookies anymore, but still one of the guys that's relatively new to the NOMA Truck Series there with Keith Prince. David Traylor kind of knew it would just be a matter of time, but what I'm focused on is all this action out back. How about this? 3 wide, 4 rows deep. That is all a battle right now for that 12th position. Even further up now, Mark Beverly and a couple others are going to be able to scramble clear as Aiden Lund falls a spot. Now 4 wide, Derek Katz stuck in the third lane, back to 3 wide. Justin Bentley starts to slide up. They are still trying to figure this thing out. And now the 8 of Chase Greer is going to start to surge as Justin Bentley actually starts to fade here a little bit down the front. So they will get back to 2 by 2 there with just 1 lap complete now over this restart. Kenneth Redinger back to the lead. Kevin Winker trying to run the absolute top of the racetrack. I'll tell you what, from what we have seen tonight, if we have a long run here, like let's say we can go green the rest of the way from here, it could be a little bit more of a certain winner in terms of we might be able to decide before then. But if this thing comes down to any sort of a 5-lap shootout or less, I couldn't tell you who we're going to pick tonight. I mean, the amount of trucks that we have had that have had phenomenal short-run speed is incredible, as now we see another door-to-door battle here between Kevin Winker and Kenneth Redinger. Redinger trying to pin it on the right rear there, the left rear rather, of Kevin Winker, similar to what Winker did to the right rear of Redinger. And remember, that side draft, it doesn't necessarily speed your truck up. What it does, though, is it dumps a bunch of air on the spoiler of that other truck, gives them more drag, and ultimately slows that truck down. So now you see Winker as he gets the crossover. What does he go to first? He goes to that side draft. Caution back out. Trouble further back here. Derek Cat a little bit slow. I don't think that was where this really started, as everybody appears to be back rolling now, so not sure exactly who was involved in this one. We didn't get any data on the truck that was involved, so Winker is going to cross the stripe here under caution as your leader with Redinger in second. But let's see if we can find out exactly who was the cause of this caution here, as we'll go to a bit more of a blimp cam and try to find out exactly where it all starts. So Wesley Phillips 3 wide. That's not the trouble there. I'm not really too sure what the trouble was. Did Derek Cat have an issue of himself? No, he actually did here. The 13, this was getting into turn number 1. That's the 22 of Haas Beverly. And a little bit of contact between those two, argy-bargy, if you will. Haas Beverly had a run, and he was ready to take it. There's a hole there. It's not that big right now, but Haas Beverly is going to try to see if he can fit his truck there. And it just looks to me there like Haas is getting a little bit tight as he goes to split that gap. I mean, at this point, the 13 is above that seam. That's when Haas commits to it, and by the time Haas gets there, now the 13 has his left sides on the seams. Again, I think that's really just a deal of tight racing. Slight contact, though, from the 22 is what gets the 13 sideways, sends Derek Cat up into the outside wall. But he keeps going here without any trouble. Now finds himself at the back of the pack. You see the lights are on still. We're still green at this point. And it's not going to be until we get all the way over here to just about turn number 3, till when the caution comes out. So definitely very interested to see that bring out a caution, but nonetheless, it's going to set us up for another restart. We'll give you just one more view of this one, as there wasn't much to it. We were able to break it down there in just that first replay, but here you go, as the 13 gets knocked out of shape, gets sideways. Boy, he almost hangs on to this thing. If he cranks the wheel left right there, I think he does so. He tries, but unfortunately just a little bit too late. As don't know if that's fast repair worthy damage, but certainly enough of a hit that you're going to have to take it in and get that damage attended to. So as we go back up front now, going to put us in a restart with just about 15 laps to go, as it is Kevin Winker being scored as your leader, Kenneth Redinger in second. Keith Prince back in third. Clinton Woodby fourth. David Traylor in fifth. Justin Parham sixth with Riley Gomes in seventh. Clay Cantrell in eighth. Michael Lawrence ninth. And Mark Beverly currently rounding out your top 10. All right, as we get ready for another late race restart, we're going to take another side-by-side break. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Michigan. Welcome back to the NOMA Truck Series live from Michigan International Speedway for the Blue Ridge 250. Getting ready to slowly start winding this thing down and getting it wrapped up here. So it'll be a 16-lap shootout to decide a winner here once we take the green flag right here. Field in the hands of Kevin Winker and Kenneth Redinger. Rolling back up into the Geico restart zone. Plenty of practice by this point. But yet again, the leader with a phenomenal jump. Kevin Winker going to get clear and by plenty here of Kenneth Redinger. Keith Prince trying to follow the 03. He's got a pretty good run, but the 24 gets a side draft. That draws him back even down into turn number 1. And we'll zoom this thing out to the blimp cam because there is a lot of stuff going on, including a 3-wide battle here between Mark Beverly. Looks like Clay Cantrell. Oh, Michael Lawrence gets into Ronnie Morrison. Morrison's going to lose it. Ronnie Morrison goes around. Did he save it? He doesn't. Caution's back out. Huge hit to the inside wall for Ronnie Morrison. The 69 is destroyed. You can see he immediately is going to pay the tow bill on this one. Kevin Winker still being scored as your leader, but that's going to give us a chance for yet another restart. Now with closer to 10 laps to go, so the trend of wrecks continue again with another one here tonight. And boy, Morrison, man, I feel bad for him here. It looked like he initially had it saved. It was that extra wheel correction that's going to ultimately finish him off right here. But let's see what kind of sparks that contact. I know it was 4 wide here. These guys have been racing 3 wide, but watch the run that the 69 gets on exit here. He takes it as Lawrence slips up a little bit, and then as Lawrence gets up the track here, can't tell if he completely gets into the 88 here. It's close, but I think he sees it, reacts. Maybe just a little bit of net code as well off the 88 or the 46. That sends the 12 down the track. He gets into Ronnie Morrison. Look at this save. First holds on to it, but then that second one was just a little bit too much. And oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Upside down and barrel rolling was the... Wow. What a crash for Ronnie Morrison. Get a couple different angles of this one here. First view from the onboard ride. Hold your breath. Gets tagged, saves it. Oh, that slide over correction. He's trying to stay in the throttle to steer out of it. Doesn't work out, and instead he ends up on his lid over twice. I'll play you this here in slow motion, and similar to what we saw earlier for the 15 of Tyler Clemis. He's just hits kind of that cutout here. That's where it's really going to hit him. Another tank slap and hit. Oh, my goodness. That's where, in real life, the safety crews would be coming out to attend to a driver where that opening is. Boy, they might have needed it right there after a wreck like this. My goodness. Ronnie Morrison definitely takes the award for wreck of the night. I believe he does still have a fast spare. Certainly going to have to use it. Give you one more view of this here from TV2. That's a wild ride for Ronnie Morrison. Brings us under our 12th caution of the night. You saw he was not able to even drive that thing back to the pits. Immediately had to pay the tow bill, and still paying the tow bill as you see smoke out of the hood right now. So he continues to wait. Once that's set up, he should be able to take his fast repair, and hopefully we see him get back on track after that. So back up front, you got Kevin Winker leading the way, Keith Prince in second, Clinton Woodby third with Kenneth Redinger in fourth, David Traylor fifth, Justin Parham sixth, Riley Gomes in seventh, Mark Beverly in eighth, Clay Cantrell in ninth, and Wesley Phillips currently rounding out your top 10. We talked about what the schedule was looking like earlier in the broadcast, where we head next week. Of course, Talladega Super Speedway. I say next week. Next week's actually an off week. I mean the next race, which should be the week after that, of course, on April 13th. So make sure you tune into that one. That's going to be a good one. But as for points and how these guys are looking coming into the race here tonight, shouldn't be too much of a surprise to see Bill Hales being scored as your points leader. Problem here for Bill is, well, of course, got that win to kick things off with the season. But since then, he's had a couple of consistent finishes, but still looking for potentially another win. Those consistent finishes, though, is what has him up in points right now. Not the night he's won it. Sits in 18th. And in second in points is one of his teammates, and Mark Beverly. Back in third, it is Keith Prince, followed by Kevin Winker, Chase Greer, and Joey Hickox. Back in sixth for points. As for team points, I know that was one of the big topics of conversation for all these guys coming into this season. And sure enough, it is Venom Racing right now leading in points. Actually, I take that back. Looks like for the moment leading in points is actually Asphalt Outlaws Racing, Venom Racing in second, DC Motorsports in third, and then Grandstand Racing in fourth. And so that is basically the four top teams tonight. Or not tonight, but in general on the season. The teams that are really going to be fighting hard all the way through to the rest of the regular season and, of course, the playoffs. See who can secure that team championship. The ultimate goal being to have a driver from your team win the driver championship, and then your team win the team championship. Sam Batwell in the chat says, sucks being taken out twice. Certainly does. We hated to see it for you, Sam. Having a good run here tonight, but we appreciate you checking in with us anyway. And now it's going to be a 12-lap shootout to decide the winner here at Michigan. Kevin Winker looking to go back-to-back. Keith Prince looking for his first win, as is Clinton Woodby and David Traylor. Green flag back in the air. Pretty good restart that time, actually, for the 03, but still not enough to contend with the 42 of Kevin Winker. Keith Prince able to get clear, though, of any chaos from that third row behind, but now Clinton Woodby going to dive it down through 1 and 2. Looks like he's got enough of a run here. He's going to roll pretty good momentum off of turn number 2. 2x2, really no 3-wide action. This time is, in fact, a lot of guys single filing out right here. As they go into turn 3, Clinton Woodby, David Traylor, still the two odd men out right now as they're going to take another dive to the inside. Gets clear the 24 and the 03. Woodby might have a chance to slot up in line here behind Kevin Winker. Not going to be able to do it, but he will slot up in line behind Kenneth Redinger. Redinger was not clear. And instead, he's now going to have to regroup and give a push to the back bumper of Clinton Woodby. Man, what a moment that was there down the front straightaway. 3 wide further back just briefly. Now back down to 2 wide as Clinton Woodby takes the lead. Boy, what a sequence of moves that was for the 92 to get clear by the time they enter the back straightaway. Kevin Winker, though, starting to fight back as Prince got into the outside wall, ping-ponged around a little bit. He's also going to be able to save it. Still 2x2 just behind the leader, but Woodby, that's what he wants to see. The longer these guys race it out, the better of a chance he's going to have. His internet gave out on us there for just a brief moment. But here we go, 10 laps to go. Kevin Winker with another big shove to the rear bumper of the 92. He's clear if he wants to move to the inside right here. Doesn't look like he's going to take it. I have a feeling that Kevin Winker is either trying to save a little bit here for the end, seeing if he can't push him and the 92 away from the rest of the pack a little bit, or potentially trying to see if he can get the 92 to give him the outside line. Still no dice. His caution is back out. More trouble further back. Not sure who this one entails. Ooh, Riley Gomes. Looks like has a little bit of left side damage from this one. And maybe a little bit more than just a little bit there, as it looks like that left front is caved in a bit. terms of the tire being smushed in a lot further than where the fender flares out at. So now this will put us in a restart with probably about 5 or 6 laps to go. So let's see how Riley Gomes gets knocked out of shape here. This is coming off of turn number 2 as they get onto the back here. Matthew Fritz on his outside. Justin Bentley goes to split him on the inside. That's where the contact's made. In fact, there was contact just in front of these two. And it almost looks synchronized, if you will. Watch this back to the chopper view. So you see that Riley Gomes at this point, I mean, Justin Bentley, he's there. He's got his right sides painted on the seam. And even goes a little bit lower there. Yeah, Riley Gomes just coming down the racetrack there, maybe trying to block. Thought maybe he was still clear the 16. It was still kind of close, but definitely not clear there. So, you know, I mean, Bentley's there. And at that point, this late in the race, Bentley, of course, by no means should he have to lift. He doesn't, and contact is made. Similar situation for Wes Phillips and Clay Cantrell just ahead, almost identical, as I said. And then as the nine's going for a slide here, trying to get the truck slowed down enough, but that's a pretty big hit on the left front right there. There's a good chance that may have done a little bit of suspension damage. You got to hope not for the sake of Riley Gomes, but boy, another tough break. We've seen a lot of wrecks with a lot of trucks ending up in about that same area of the outside wall here tonight. Looks like he hits actually just a little bit further than most of the guys have, but still gets significant damage nonetheless. Give you another view, and Gomes had been doing really a great job tonight. Had a good run going, but unfortunately this is going to be quite the setback, as there you see after that hit, it's when that left front tire gets knocked in pretty far. Fender flares outwards. Again, at a track that is so crucial in terms of aero dependency. I think this is definitely going to either be getting this fixed the manual way or using a fast repair. And it looks like whatever they chose, they got it fixed, because now that left front tire and fender much more lined up than they were just a minute ago. So back up front we go. Clinton Woodby currently being scored as your leader. Kevin Winker in second. Kenneth Redinger in third. Keith Prince fourth. And David Traylor rounding out your top 5. Well, you know, I said if this thing came down to somewhere about a 5-lap shootout, I had no clue who to put my money on, because everybody has had a chance. There's been so many trucks that have been so equal tonight that if it's a short run, it's just going to be a matter of who sets themselves up and who makes the right move. And, I mean, it looks like that's pretty much exactly what we're setting ourselves up for right here. So it's going to be probably 6 laps to go, assuming we get 1 to go this time. And but Clinton Woodby is going to have his hands full as he fights for his first win of the night. But about some of the hard chargers through the field here tonight. The 2 guys lining up on the front row. Clinton Woodby is up 23 positions from where he started this race at. Kevin Winker is up 21 positions from where he started this race at. Those 2 will restart first and second. Kenneth Redinger back in third. Keith Prince in fourth, with David Traylor going to be rounding out your top 5. He is up 11 from where he started. Justin Parham in 6th, up 8. Wesley Phillips back in, and Justin Parham was in 7th. Wesley Phillips 8th. Clay Cantrell 9th. Matthew Fritz rounding out your top 10 for the moment. Looks like Mark Beverly trying to sneak in as well. And so if you're just tuning in, boy, did you pick a good time. These guys are going to be going at it here for the last 6 laps. And if you like what you're seeing here tonight, please do leave us follow, a like, whatever you feel. Lets us know that you enjoy the broadcast. Good to see everybody out in the chat. And we appreciate everybody spending their Saturday night here with us as we approach Sunday morning here in just about 15 minutes. We'll see if we can get this thing wrapped up before then. But if you got a pick, put them in the chat. Again, everybody right now, well, not everybody, but 2 out of the guys in your top 4 are looking for their first win. Of course, with Clinton Woodby and Keith Prince. Kevin Winker looking for win number 2. Keith Prince, Kenneth Redinger as well. And then you got Parham. He's got a win back in row 3. Traylor looking for his first win. So kind of a 50-50 throw-up right now in terms of guys that have a win versus guys that don't. And who is going to come out victorious tonight is one of anybody's guess. All right, here we go. Lights are off. Pace car going to be making the left turn this time down to the pits. Fans back on their feet, the virtual fans, if you will, as they get ready for what could potentially be the final restart of the night. 6 laps to go. Remember, though, we got to make it all the way to the white flag for this race to be official. Green flag back in the air at Michigan. Great jump for Clinton Woodby. He's going to pull out to a 2-truck length lead here right out of the gate. Kevin Winker trying to pull a draft as Kenneth Redinger looks to see if he can get below the 42 down into turn number 1. Redinger able to do just that. Now watch to see, can that 24 get clear out of 2? Yes, he does. Kenneth Redinger moves up to second. And now Clinton Woodby going to do a little bit of mirror driving. Looks for 1 block, looks for 2 on the 24. Not going to be able to make number 3. Kenneth Redinger to the inside as they go to turn number 3. David Traylor tucked tight in line behind. If he doesn't get the 24 loose, could have a good push. Or does he look 3 wide for himself here? He does, but realizes it's not going to work. Bails out of it. Now he's got to tuck back down in line. Big run out back as now they're going to split 3, almost 4 wide down the front stretch. Would be back to the lead as Kevin Winker cycles back to second. Redinger lost all his momentum and as a result lost a couple spots. Wesley Phillips up top, going to move to third in line, rounds out the podium now. Redinger falls to fourth. Little bumping and banging there between the 97 of Mark Beverly and the 19 of Justin Parham. The 88 of Clay Cantrell cycles up to the back bumper here of Keith Prince. Ooh, Prince is slipping up a little bit, way out of the groove. Keith Prince trying to save it. Now he's going to go around. Keith Prince down into traffic, back hard into the inside wall. Caution is out as Clay Cantrell slides to the pit entry wall. Looks like he is going to be able to save it. Saw Bill Hales with heavy damage as well. So they don't make it to the white flag, and that means we will be heading to overtime. Where the 53 is destroyed. You see he's trying here just to drive this thing back, and that's proven to be a struggle in of itself. That was a big time hit for Bill Hales and multiple others. Definitely the biggest crash we've had here of the night. And man, I can't tell whether Clinton Woodby is happy to see that or not. Looked like he may have been in better position there once things kind of had single filed out, but now he's going to have to worry about another crazy restart. And we've seen how much trouble they've been giving guys already here tonight. Before we start talking about that and setting ourselves up for that, let's go back here and see how this one started. You almost kind of saw it forming up as it initially started with the 03 of Keith Prince. He started to get out of shape, and at this point in the race, as tight as everybody's running, you knew that they just weren't going to be able to check up in time behind him here. I think that's exactly what happens. Looks like Clay Cantrell and David Traylor running just behind the 03 of Keith Prince. And watch here as Keith gets down into the corner. Boy, that truck is really skewed out. Looks like he's got that thing pointed all the way to the bottom, trying to get a good turn. And problem is, that gets the back end a little bit too far out. It slips, he catches it. But now, as the 88 gets to the back of his bumper, starts to get a little bit loose. But that's not really what sends him around. What sends him around is actual contact here from the 88 of Clay Cantrell. Looks like Clay's going to try to make a dive to the inside here, and certainly got to believe that Keith was a bit loose, but I think Clay kind of finished him off here when he got into his left rear. Watch that again in slow motion. It's not much, but yeah, barely gets into the left rear right there, and that gets Keith Prince with a truck that was already out of shape, completely out of shape as Traylor runs into the back of Clay Cantrell. That sends Clay down into the pits, and then Keith Prince nowhere to go once he gets back up the track. Bill Hales slams into him. And that was where all the damage came for the 53 and the 03. Watch this from another angle here. Back up the track, and boy, that was a huge hit for Bill Hales and Keith Prince. Definitely going to be a fast pair for the 53. The 03, all things considered, doesn't look that bad from the angle we were just looking at. And here's another view of those synchronized spins, almost, if you will, for the 03 of Keith Prince and the 88 of Clay Cantrell. Traylor, he's going to have a little bit of nose damage, and then that's a massive hit for Bill Hales. Joey Hickox, Richard Hurst, and Jay Stinson somehow all going to do a bit of a Houdini act here, if you will, as they find a way to sneak around this. And then Michael Lawrence and others trying to make it through down the front stretch as well. I believe everybody does without any further incident. So we'll give you one more view of this from the onboard here of Bill Hales. He was sitting a couple rows behind us. Goes to go high. Looks like the right choice, but unfortunately wasn't quite the right call. As wow, I mean, did you see Michael Lawrence shoot that gap right there? I said that was going to be our final view, but we got to see this through the eyes of Michael Lawrence. I mean, it looked like a gap that was closing quickly, and somehow he shoots through this. Watch this. Shoots the middle. Oh my goodness. Does tag the outside wall pretty hard, so that'll give some significant damage there to the 12, but overall, what a save as well for Michael Lawrence, or maybe I should say what a job and wreck avoidance there. Man, oh man. All right, well now this is going to line up for yet another restart with the one to go signal, half a lap till we get to our first overtime here of the night. Clinton Woodby still being scored as your leader, Kevin Winker in second, Wesley Phillips back in third with Kenneth Redinger in fourth, Justin Parham rounding out your top 5. Let's remind you of the overtime rules here real quick, just in case you forgot. We've got 3 attempts total at overtime. We're going to take the green flag. It's a 2-lap shootout. If these guys can make it to the white flag, this race will be official. However, if they can't, we'll rack them up and try it again. So Clinton Woodby, he was able to hold off the charge on that last restart for a couple laps, but now he's got to try it again with a little bit of a different setup here. This time Redinger going to be on the outside behind Winker, and this time you got Wesley Phillips just behind the 92 Woodby. Got to get a good restart. Got to be the money restart right here for Clinton Woodby. Can't go till green. Here we go. 2-lap shootout overtime number 1 at Michigan is underway. Green flag is in the air, and it's a great jump for Clinton Woodby. Exactly what he needed. Side by side out back between Wesley Phillips and Kevin Winker. The longer they stay like that, the better the chances are going to be here for Clinton Woodby. Off into turn 1 they go. Phillips, Winker still side by side, not able to get it sorted out. Further back, the rest of the field, uniform formation, 2x2, maybe looking 3 wide as the 12 of Michael Lawrence. But now we will turn all eyes up front. Half a lap to go to make this race official. 46 of Wesley Phillips, he's going to commit to the inside here. Woodby not able to cover, dives down to the bottom, but Woodby should be able to hold some momentum up top out of 4. Still cold tires for everybody here, but it looks like they're all going to survive. Here we go. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Michigan. Clinton Woodby looking for his first win, but it's not over yet. Kevin Winker with another good run, but Wesley Phillips still holding side by side with your second place now, potentially running for the lead truck of Wesley Phillips. Side by side down the back, Phillips looking for a side draft on the 92. Kevin Winker looking to give a big push to 46. He's going to get that side draft. They'll go even into turn number 3 for the final time. 3 wide, Kenneth Redinger looking for a move to the bottom. Can the 24 make it stick? Wesley Phillips starts to slide up. Woodby up top. This could come down to a drag race all the way to the checkers. Now they beat, they bang. It's a push all the way to the finish. Photo finish. Who gets it? Woodby inches it out by a nose at Michigan. First win in the NOMA Truck Series for Clinton Woodby, and it comes in photo finish fashion. Oh my goodness, margin of victory was 100th of a second, and I think our official scoring might even be showing a little bit less than that. Oh, we certainly have a new contender for best finish of the season. I can tell you Clinton Woodby, he's going to be a happy guy about that one before he comes to burn it down. Let's look again at turn 4. What an effort from Wesley Phillips here. Redinger as well. Gets down to the inside, realizes he can't make the move work, ducks back down the line. A little bit of door bumping here off of 4. Woodby trying everything he can to not let the momentum come back to the inside as see Kevin Winker lines back up behind the 92 and all the way to the checkered flag. These two stuck door to door. They finally unlatch here just about as they get to the finish. And Woodby, boy, he got it, but he did not get it by much. See if we can get a different angle of that finish. Oh, my goodness, by just about half a hood length. What a win for Clinton Woodby. As he burns it down in celebration here on the front stretch. Let's look at the rest of your results here tonight. Wesley Phillips brings home 2nd, Kevin Winker in 3rd. Kenneth Redinger holds on to 4th. Justin Parham rounding out your top 5. Mark Beverly in 6th with David Traylor in 7th. Matthew Fritz in 8th, Jay Stinson 9th, and Joey Hickox rounding out your top 10. Nick Wood finishes 11th with Justin Bentley in 12th. Chase Greer 13th, Aiden Lunt in 14th. Riley Gomes 15th with Randy Bonomi in 16th. Keith Prince back in that 17th position. Clay Cantrell 18th. Bill Hales in 19th, and Michael Lawrence rounding out your top 20. Wiley Cantrell 21st. Ryan Newman in 22nd. Finishing 23rd tonight is going to be Haas Beverly with Zach Stevens in 24th. Rounding out your top 25 is going to be Richard Hurst in the 76 truck. Excuse me, I said the 76 truck. Yep, sure enough. Ronnie Morrison back in 27th. Sam Boutwell 28th. Jeremy Beal in 29th. And Tyler Clemens rounding out the top 30 and rounding out the field here tonight. All right, we're going to go see if we can get your top 3 in here for interviews. Stay with us. We will be right back at Michigan. All right, back live at Michigan International Speedway. Going to start first tonight with your third place finisher, Kevin Winker. Kevin, this is Austin in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, you bring home a podium finish tonight, carrying off of that momentum when, of course, you got the win last week. But, man, it looked like you had a great shot in those final 2 laps. Is there anything you thought maybe you could have done different to have a shot at the win there?
Not really. I mean, I was kind of just going to push Clinton there at the end. I thought maybe if I could have had a bigger run, I could have jumped the outside, but I didn't think I really had anything in time. So I seen him darn, so I was like, I'll just kind of, get in line here and push Clinton to win. That's kind of what I did, just kind of another, good finish, momentum to go on to the season. So as I call it, stacking the pennies. So just kind of add another penny to the stack, and we'll go on to next week at Dega.
Yeah, and of course, with Dega coming up, one of the tracks that we know you're best at. We saw the speed at Daytona. Now, when we kind of go to a track here like Michigan, it's kind of the best of both worlds when you compare 1.5 miles to a super speedway. Is there anything that you can take that maybe you learn here from tonight, next week to Talladega?
I mean, you can kind of, I guess, learn who you can kind of maybe bump with, really. I mean, you can't really take too much here because you still got a, kind of safe tire and all that. So, I mean, Dega's just pretty much luck and, good teammates and obviously a little bit of skill, but mainly luck there. So, I mean, you can't really take too much here, but you can kind of take who you can trust, I guess, because there's some guys you can trust versus you can't. So that's probably about the main thing. So, yeah, looking forward to that. As you know, I like rolling that high side, so it should be 3 wide there and see if we can park this number 42 back in Victor Lane.
Going to be fun to watch as you were tonight. Well, before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, as always, I want to go shout out to Bruce Milberger Custom Homes, current board and sponsor me in all my leagues. I know he's a big sport he's watching tonight. He's from Michigan, actually, so nice to put his truck in top 3 tonight, so big shout out to him. Winker Nation, my girlfriend Shauna, Brandon, Justin, Dylan, Brett, Nicole, all them guys that come out every night and watch me. I can't thank them enough, so big shout out to those guys. Nate Cogdale at Sonic Graphic Design for the awesome paint. Knock on wood, I've had really good luck in this paint, so I'm going to keep running it and we'll see what happens. So if you need paints, check them out, Sonic Graphic Design. All the guys over at AOR, Mark, Haas, Keith, all them guys, Clinton, David, a different team, but it's always blast running with those guys. So big shout out to all those guys, all the guys that put on this league. Can't thank them enough. I know how much hard work it is because I run my own kind of league. So big shout out to those guys and then you for the broadcast. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Again, congrats on the 3rd place finish, and we will see you at Talladega.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, and now that will bring us to your 2nd place finisher here on the night, Wesley Phillips. Hey, Wesley, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you loud and clear, man.
Well, you bring home 2nd in what is probably, I would say, certainly from my point of view, the best finish of the season. Break us down. What was going through your mind that last lap and the door banging between you and Clinton Woodby all the way to the checker?
Well, I mean, I got a great run out of 1 and 2, but freaking I had no help on the inside drafting, so they all pulled up alongside of me. And I got another good run off of 3 and 4, but couldn't quite clear the 24 in time to get down to the apron. And so me and Clinton started door banging, and we were just drag racing at the end, and he ended up inching me by a nose.
Well, we just heard Kevin Winker, who, of course, we already saw get a win this season, talk about stacking pennies and the momentum that you get as a driver when you continue to put together these good finishes. Man, you've come so close to a win now a couple times. You feeling like it's on the horizon here in the next couple races?
I mean, hopefully it's like our next race is at Dega, so basically any of us got a chance to win there. But it's like I like my chances. I've been showing speed and running up front. My biggest thing, I'm really happy to get P2 because usually at the end of these races I end up in all the chaos, and it's like I think this is my first top 10 actually. So this is the first time I've actually been able to bring it home at the end.
Well, thank you for talking to us tonight, and again, a great finish. So before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Just all the guys at 4-Ride Racing and everybody here running the league for letting us come out and bang these doors every week.
Of course, thank you for talking to us one more time. Congrats on that 2nd place finish, and we will see you at Talladega.
Have a good night.
All right, and now that is going to move us to your winner here on the night, Clinton Woodby. See how he's feeling right now. Hey, Clinton, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Well, you finally captured that elusive first win. It comes at Michigan. First question is, how are you feeling after that photo finish?
Well, for one, I'm tired. That was a long race. I am excited. I don't think I've really soaked it all in what happened yet, but I wouldn't take it any other way. That was a damn good finish there at the end with the 46.
Certainly was. And man, oh man, the racing all night was crazy, but you kind of had to slowly work your way up through the field to get yourself in position for the end. And with all the cautions we saw tonight, break us down kind of how you planned that out, how you were able to do it, and ultimately how you were able to set yourself up there at the end for those late race restarts.
I'm not really sure where it was. Probably like lap 60 or something. We had a caution come out, and I just took 2 tires, and I don't know. I probably gained like 7 or 8 spots by doing that, and it was just a better group of trucks to be around, so you can make a little bit more moves that way. But there was a lot of caution, so you couldn't really do anything. So you just tried to make as many moves as you could as soon as you could, and that's probably why we had the cautions we had. Everybody was pushing within the first couple of laps, thinking we're not going to have many more laps to even race.
Well, everybody was pushing, but at the end of the day, you push just a little bit harder. You capture your first win. Now that you got one down, you think that's enough momentum to go back-to-back, potentially at Talladega?
I mean, we'll see. Talladega's a wild card. I'm pretty good at restrictor plate racing. I guess I'll show my age there. But, yeah, we'll see. I'll probably just start in the back there and try to work my way up again.
Well, before we let you head out tonight to go celebrate in Victory Lane and get prepped for Talladega, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to my Megan. Tell her that I love her. She sent me a text message as soon as it was over with, so she was watching. My buddy Melvin, I think he's watching. Blair at Winning Bid, can't thank him enough, and Will at Nirvana, and new sponsors coming on to this year, Stacy Whitson at Whitson Lawn Care. So can't thank those guys enough, and you guys for the stream and everything.
Thank you, of course, for talking to us again. Congrats on the win. It was an entertaining one, and we'll see you at Talladega.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight for the Blue Ridge 250. Man, oh man, what a great race it was, and what a fantastic finish. A couple cautions, but nonetheless, sometimes that's what you get. The finish certainly made up for it. Next race, Talladega. Don't want to miss out on that one. But again, congrats to Clinton Woodby. And again, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. And officially, yes, as we have now hit 12 a.m. on the East Coast, happy Easter to everyone that celebrates. Hope you enjoy your Sunday with family. And we'll be back next time for the NOMA Truck Series. Until then, that'll do it for me, Austin Green, here on Ghost Racing Network. Again, thank you all so much for coming out, and have a good night.